Hy Brasil is a phantom island legend from Celtic folklore. It is unknown if the island ever actually existed, but it did hold time on maps from 1325 to 1870. The island is named after Brasil, who was the High King of the world in the Celtic mythos. Hy Brasil was a place of plenty and happiness. Legends of the inhabitants circulated throughout Europe for centuries. Depending on which story you heard, it was either inhabited by holy people who knew ancient knowledge that allowed them to live in an advanced civilization, or an earthy paradise where fairies and magicals lived, or it was the home of the Celtic gods, or it was St. Brendan's promised land. People described the land being cloaked in a mist, save for one day every 7 years. Those who claimed to have been to the island returned telling stories of towers with gold roofs, healthy cattle, and extravagant citizens. The accounts of St. Berend and St. Brendan, who had allegedly been to the island on their own voyages, were nearly identical, and both of them called it the Promised Land. Although many have claimed to have visited Hy Brasil, it is now a mystery as to where it is or where it was located. According to legend, Hy Brasil was located somewhere to the west of Ireland. The first time it appeared on maps was on cartographer Angelino de Dall'Orto's map in 1325. He put the island to the southwest of Ireland's Galway Bay and labeled it Insula de Monotones Sui de Brasil. And then in his 1339 map, he showed Hy Brasil as a round island that was divided by a channel that ran from east to west. Generally, maps place the island 200 miles off the west coast of Ireland. On a 1480 map, the southern island shifted to the south of Greenland, with the other one remaining to the west of Ireland. A round island to the west coast of Ireland was included in the Piri Reis map of 1513, as well as in both the Ortelis map of Europe and the Europa Mercator map of 1595. Hy Brasil was featured on the British Admiralty charts up until the 1870s. Although it was still being featured on maps, Hy Brasil became lost at some point in the 14th or 15th century. Many people mounted expeditions to find the legendary island, but no one came back with definitive proof that they had found it. John Cabot had launched an expedition every year for 7 years, spanning from 1490 to 1497. A Spanish diplomat, Pedro de Ayala, had reported to the Catholic monarch of Spain that Cabot had told him that he had made a journey to and from North America with a group of men who had claimed to have found Hy Brasil. This type of heresy evidence for the existence of Hy Brasil is all we're left with. One of the last documented sightings of Hy Brasil was made in 1872. Irish folklorist T.J. Westrup and Robert O'Flaherty made claims that they had visited the Phantom Island 3 times, and Westrup was so enticed by it that he brought his family with him to see it. They all allegedly saw it appear out of nowhere for a moment before it vanished before them. Irish fishermen as late as the 20th century have claimed to see or even sail to Hy Brasil. Many claim that Hy Brasil did exist and still exists today. Baffin Island is one of over 90 islands in the Arctic archipelago. These claims point out the change in location of Hy Brasil from the southwest of Ireland to the south of Greenland, and later more towards the west of Greenland, and that Baffin Island sits in the migrated area west of Greenland. These theorists also note that Dell'Orto's early works place Hy Brasil in the middle of other Fortunate Islands. Much like Atlantis, this theory claims that the island of Hy Brasil sunk beneath the ocean. The theory points out that during the last ice age, sea levels were 120 meters lower in the Porcupine Bank, located to the west of Ireland, and that the sunken ridge under the Aran Islands of Galway Bay could have been exposed during this time. Both of these locations are in the area of the locations where Hy Brasil was seated on maps. Archaeologists have searched to the west of Ireland, where the island most likely was, and found evidence that islands had existed there. At Porcupine Bank, they found shallow water pockets, which led them to believe that an island may have existed there at one point. They also found evidence of landmass changes in that part of the Atlantic, which might have led to Hy Brasil's disappearance. Claims that a legend never existed are nothing new. The vast majority of legends and myths are dismissed this way, but the claim of Hy Brasil not ever existing at least has science behind it. Meteorologists found that in some climatic conditions, mirages appear in the northern territories and on the sea. This occurs when layers of hot and cold air bend light rays. The light bouncing off the water, ice, or clouds have the ability to create optical illusions. It is this event that many believe explain how people were able to see Hy Brasil, but never reach it. The way we can best appreciate Hy Brasil is through the art and writings it inspired. Throughout many poems, novels, and artworks, you can find references to Hy Brasil. The most famous poem on Hy Brasil was reproduced by W.B. Yeats in his book Fair and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry. On the ocean that hollows the rocks where ye dwell, a shadowy land has appeared, as they tell. Men thought it a region of sunshine and rest, and they called it, O Brasil, the island of the blest. From year unto year, on the ocean's blue rim, the beautiful spectre showed lovely and dim. The golden clouds curtained the deep where it lay, and looked like an Eden, away, far away. O Brasil, the enchanted island, being a perfect relation of the late discovery and wonderful disenchantment of an island on the north of Ireland, with an account of the riches and commodities thereof, by Richard Head, was a bestseller in England in 1675. The writing masqueraded as being an actual reporting of the discovery of Hy Brasil. The story claims that the expedition landed on Hy Brasil and met with an old man that gave them gold and silver, and also that there were large black rabbits that inhabited the island. The origin story for the word Brazil and how the South American country of Brazil got its name is still kind of a mystery. The most commonly accepted belief comes from the German naturalist Alexander von Humboldt, who defined it as coming from the word brasa, or ember in English, which describes the red color that comes from the Brazil wood tree. This is important to the country of Brazil, because during the early years of the Portuguese colonization, the harvesting of the Brazil wood tree to extract the red dye was the main source of economic activity. According to the Howise Dictionary, exactly where the word Brazil comes from is the subject of no less than 16 theories. One of those theories being that the word is of the Celtic origins, from the word bres, which means blessed land. Some people allege that the Portuguese explorer famed with finding Brazil, Pedro Álvares Cabral, had believed that he had found Hy Brasil and named the island as such. It is also pointed out that on the Brazilian flag there is a circle with a line through it, that bears the likeness to how Hy Brasil was represented on the map. However, that doesn't seem to be the case, as Brazil had two other names, Ilha de Vera Cruz, Island of the True Cross, and Terra de Santa Cruz, Land of the Holy Cross, before being named Brazil. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, and if you want more content similar to this, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I release a video every week. Thank you to those of you who already are subscribed. You're awesome. Sleep tight, friends.